Hello again, my little conscripts, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. In today's episode, we shall be taking a look at the new Death Corps of Krieg Combat Patrol. I don't mean to alarm you, but I think Games Workshop might have actually done a good job with this box set. It's got plenty of models that both veteran and new Guard players alike will be interested in, and it seems to be mostly killer with minimal filler. It's genuinely exciting to see a box set like this come out from Games Workshop. And so, without further ado, we're not going to mess around any further. Let's fix bayonets and charge right into this thing.
Attention conscripts, the Mordian Glory channel is sponsored by Element Games. Element Games is a third-party retailer who stocks all of your favourite tabletop wargames. They've got Warhammer 40k, Bolt Action, Age of Sigmar, Old World, and much, much more. And Element Games offers a 15 to 25% discount on nearly all of their products. And the best bit is, Element Games has given me a special code, TIM3921, to share with you guys, which will earn you double store credit on any purchases, saving you even more money. So if you want to save shed loads of money and support the channel at the same time, then use the affiliate link to Element Games down in the description below and make sure you use that referral code at checkout. That's all for now. Let's get back to the video.
So, first things first, let's work out which units we get in this box set and how do they work together. Firstly, we're going to get one box of Death Corps of Krieg Guardsmen, giving us 10 Guardsmen in total. And this is honestly so welcome to see. You might think that, well, of course they're going to put Death Corps of Krieg in a Death Corps of Krieg box set. Oh, my naive friend. Have you not seen the current normal Guard Combat Patrol? It's an absolute dumpster fire. It might not seem like a particularly high bar for GW to pass, but them actually putting Death Corps of Krieg infantry in a Death Corps of Krieg box set is very, very nice to see. It's a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Now, these Death Corps of Krieg models are really nice, really well detailed, and a fantastic way to start building up your infantry corps. However, I will just mention one small fly in the ointment. They are a little fiddly to build. They were one of the earlier plastic kill team box sets which came out, and the end result, when they're all built together and they're all painted up, they look amazing. And they are genuinely beautiful models. But if you're a beginner getting into this, my advice to you is be patient with the Death Corps infantry. They're in a few more bits than they probably need to be, but the end result is definitely worth it. Take your time, be patient, try not to get frustrated, and when the models come together, you'll be absolutely fine. Best advice I can give you, follow the instructions very carefully. Next up, we have got a Death Corps of Krieg Command Squad, and I really like that they've included this unit in this box set. Firstly, we haven't actually had a Death Corps of Krieg Command Squad as part of a discount box set like this, because remember, Combat Patrols, you tend to get about 140 to 150 pounds worth of models for about 100 quid. So we're actually getting the Death Corps of Krieg Command Squad here at a nice little discount, which is fantastic. And secondly, it's a really, really detailed kit. It is one of the prettiest command squads that GW has ever made for the Imperial Guard. Really, really like it. It's dripping in flavor. And lastly, it's actually a leader unit which can lead one of the other units in this box set, the Death Corps Krieg Infantry. If you look at the current Guard Combat Patrol, and yes, I will be comparing this Combat Patrol to that one constantly throughout, and I will be absolutely shitting on the generic Guard Combat Patrol because it's so bad. But in the generic Guard Combat Patrol, you get a command squad that can't lead anything. It's an absolute joke. In this Combat Patrol, you get a command squad that can actually lead the guardsmen that come as part of the box set, which is fantastic. Again, it's a low bar. It's a very, very low bar for GW to reach, but they don't always reach it, and they have done this time, so credit where credit is due. This is a good combination of units. You've got infantry and something to lead them. Fantastic. Next, we have got the Krieg heavy weapon teams, and again, another brilliant kit. big thumbs up from me. Great to see these as part of this box set. Firstly, the Krieg heavy weapons are, again, fantastic models. I think they are widely and highly regarded by the Guard community, and they're just great. They are actually, you can swap the weapons in and out of them, so they're very interchangeable. They're very flexible kit, so you don't have to stick to the stubbers. You can swap that out for flamer, you can swap that out for the lance cannons. So they're a really flexible kit, which is exactly what you want. If you're a newer player getting into this, you want to be able to mix and match loadouts because you want to try different things, find out what works for you, but you also don't want to be worried about building the wrong thing and then being stuck with it. So having a flexible kit like this is really good, and it adds some decent punch to this combat patrol as well. Whether you are going for the surprisingly good AP of the twin stubbers, or you're burning the crap out of people with the mega flamers, or you just want good old-fashioned las cannons, this is a great kit, and generally speaking, I have no issues with it whatsoever. I think it's a good kit, and I think it's a good unit in game. Finally, we get to the Death Riders, and some people might be surprised to hear me say this, but this, for me, is the weakest part of the box set. Now, I know there are some naughty little freaks out there which love to run full cavalry armies. I know who you are, I know, but this unit here, I do see as the filler unit. The other three, absolute killer units, but the Death Riders are a bit of a filler. They're a bit of a filler in two regards, but before we get to that, I do want to say, look, I don't have anything against the mods themselves. They're beautiful, they're very highly detailed, but I will say this. I tried building some of these guys and they were a bit of a nightmare to build. Like the Deathcore Infantry, you really, really, really have to follow the instructions. If you don't, it's very bad. The reins are very specific to the guy who's riding the model. The arms are specific. There's no flexibility in the loadout whatsoever, so you have to make sure you're lining the right parts up. The mistake I made is I cut all the horses out. That was fine, and they all went together no problem, and then I got all the bodies out and everything, and then realized that there were certain arms that had to go with certain bodies, and I didn't know which bodies were which anymore. So you have to basically just build them one at a time, following the instructions, which is a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. So they're a bit of a trickier kit to build. So that's one reason why I don't really like them personally. Second reason I don't really like them is they're not a particularly good unit. Like, they're a cool unit, but on the tabletop they're quite limited. I imagine a lot of people are probably going to run them as counts as Rough Riders because they're so much better thanks to things like Melter Lance. And also, this is the weakness of this. They are not great if you are a veteran Krieg player, because if you're someone that bought into the Krieg with the big plastic box set release at the beginning of this year, you already have 10 Death Riders. And so this is actually a bit of a limitation of the box set. Sure, it's good for new players, fantastic, that's great, but it's not particularly good for veteran players. Even people who've only been getting into this for the last sort of 9, 10, 11, 12 months, it's not particularly good for you guys because you really just don't need any more horses. And so the rest of this box set I think is fantastic, but this is the weakest part of it for me. It is the fly in the ointment. So now that we know what comes in the box and we've taken a look at the different kits and whether we like them or not, the next big question is this a good deal? It's all right. It's not great, not terrible, 3.6. If you take the individual kits that we have and we add their cost up outside of this box set, then it comes to £131. Now, bear in mind that I'm recording this video just before the price increases. So that is, you're getting £131 worth of models for £100. Now, bear in mind that we know the Combat Patrols are going up to £105, and we know that many of these kits will be getting a price increase. We know that these infantry will be going from £31.50 to £33, for example. Same with the heavy weapon team and stuff. So you can imagine that this is going to go up to about £105 for £140 worth of models. Either way, it is a decent deal. It's fine, but it's not quite as good as some of the other combat patrols we've seen where you can get 150, 100, 140, 150 pounds worth of models for £100. So it's got a lot of good units in it, but it's not necessarily the best deal in terms of the other combat patrols out there, but it is solid. It's totally okay. I'm not saying it's a bad deal. It's not. It's totally fine. It's a totally fine, okay deal. So taking all of that into account, do I give this combat patrol a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Well, I resoundingly give it a single thumbs up. It's not getting a double thumbs up, it's just getting a single thumbs up. At the end of the day, there are a lot of models in this combat patrol which you are going to want. However, I am going to be a little harsh towards it with it including the Death Riders because they're a bit of a meh unit. And I'm also going to be a little harsh towards it because it's not the best deal. Personally, if I was going to change anything about this combat patrol to get it to the double thumbs up, I would firstly drop the Death Riders and include another squad of Death Corps of Krieg, because that will give you a full strength platoon and you'll be able to have the 20 Death Corps of Krieg in one big squad and then have the command squad lead that, which is fantastic. Not never, but you rarely want to have a 10-man squad led by a command squad. Typically, you want a 20-man blob with a command squad leading it to be just more efficient with handing those buffs out. So you're going to end up buying an extra squad anyway. So I would swap that out, although that will mean that the box set comes down in value. To make up that value, what I would do is add an artillery team. I mean, imagine if you got 20 Kriegers, a command squad, and a heavy weapons squad, and you also got an artillery team in here. I mean, that would come to about £160 worth of models for £105. So it's not actually like the worst thing. GW could do that, but even if they didn't want to do that, I would be tempted to swap out the heavy weapons for an artillery team anyway to basically offset the cost. That's probably how I would do it, and that way you end up with the same value of models because you get two squads, the command squad and artillery team, and that is actually the exact same value of models as if you've got one squad, command squad, the heavy weapon teams, and then you've got the Death Riders there. So I would go for a slightly more focused box, like, hey look, here's a guard platoon and some artillery. It's literally the classic quintessential Krieg box, infantry and artillery. But that would be my personal changes. But I don't mind this box set because I am in favor of, or I'm not against, I should say, the idea of it being a bit of a smorgasbord. Like, hey, look, you get one of everything, try it out, see what you like. I just prefer a slightly more focused box set, but I'm not against this being a little bit of a pick and mix. However, before we wrap today's video up, I did notice something kind of interesting in the Warhammer community article that was talking about this Combat Patrol Death Corps of Krieg, and I think it's very much worth mentioning. So just reading this out a little bit, it says, for all the Harlequins are lively and colourful, the Death Corps are sombre and grim in equal measure. Their legendary die-hard attitudes and bleak acceptance of the galaxy's worst war zones make them some of the most sought-after siege troops in the Imperium, an accolade they live up to day after day. This Combat Patrol has a bit of everything, with 10 Death Corps troopers, a 6-member command squad holding ground, while 5 Death Rider cavalry skewer choice enemy targets, and a heavy weapon squad of 4 blast their foes from afar. So that's all fine and dandy, bit of fluff text there, but this was the bit that really caught my attention, and I think is something we want to talk about just for a little bit. This is an especially good place to start a Death Corps of Krieg army, as every one of these units is great to double up on, adding more numbers, fast cavalry and heavy weapons right where they're needed. So this is a really significant departure from what we have seen and the language we have seen and heard from Games Workshop around the Combat Patrol box sets and the Combat Patrol game in the past. Until recently, there was always this facade, there was always this idea that these Combat Patrol box sets were not actually designed as beginner box sets. They were designed for the Combat Patrol game, and that GW was trying to make Combat Patrol a bit like Spearhead for Age of Sigmar. And this is why some of the combat patrols, or why some of the GW ball washers said some of the combat patrols were bad. Oh no, these units are bad in the main game of 40k, but they're not designed for the main game of 40k. They're designed to work in combat patrol. Now, I always thought that was a bit of a crappy excuse. I thought that was just people running defense for GW. I always thought that also it's kind of like, let's just be honest with each other. No one plays combat patrol. I mean, that is the reality. If you're a new player watching this and your local GW bloke has said to you, oh yeah, everyone plays combat patrols, it's great to get into the game. It's bollocks. It's not, okay? Combat patrols are basically where you start your journey into, or they should be, where you start your journey into working your way up to a full 40k army. Spearhead has been very successful for Age of Sigmar, but combat patrol has been basically a complete flop for Warhammer 40k. And so, what I think is very interesting about this is the first time that I can remember, I'm sure it's been other times, it's the first time that I can remember that Games Workshop has said, hey, this is a great place to start your Deathcore Krieg army. This isn't really a combat patrol force, like I'm sure we'll come up with some bullshit rules for that. This isn't really a combat patrol force. This is a place to start. And let me tell you, I like that. I like that. Look, Games Workshop, you might find this surprising if the GW Spy ever hears the mythical GW Spy who watches the channel ever hears this, but I don't mind you making I don't mind you making box sets which are better for starting. In fact, that's what I want you to do. Stop pretending, stop hiding behind this thin veneer of, oh, we've made this good control. No, you've made a shitty box set and it's predatory and you're catching new players out with it. That's what the old guard combat patrol is like. It's a goddamn noob trap. You know it, I know it, we all know it. So making a box set like this, where you've actually said, hey, it's a great place to start a Deathcore Krieg army. Yes, more of this, please. Some people see me as a GW hating channel. I'm not. I'm very, very fair and balanced with them. If they do something that I like, I praise them. I give them credit where credit is due. If they do something bad, I lambast them. And hey, recently, GW has been giving me too many reasons to tear a strip off them. I don't like doing that. I like being more positive. And this is great. So Games Workshop, it's not hard. More of this. We have very, very low expectations for you, GW. We want you to make box sets which aren't shit. It's that simple. You don't have to make great, amazing, just nut-draining box sets. I mean, wouldn't complain if you did, mate. Wouldn't complain if you did, but just making not shit box sets is what we kind of want from you. So having infantry that can be led, having decent heavy weapon choices, decent extra support units. You're going to chuck a bit of filler in there? Fine, we'll let you off with a little bit of filler. But you were getting to the point where it was all filler, no killer GW. And honestly, if you took those Death Riders out, and like I said, put an artillery team in there, and if you took the heavy weapon team out, and you put a platoon in there, and you sold it as Death Corps, say platoon, you put the extra squad in there, and you sold it as Death Corps of Krieg platoon box, and you had that as a standard set, every single guard player would start their journey with 3 of those things. It's guaranteed money, mate. So, GW, more of this, please. Starter sets. No one is going to judge you if you basically give up on the combat patrol as a separate game. No one's going to judge you for that. Nobody. We would rather that you were honest and we were honest with you. More starter box sets, more of this, everyone will be happy. But of course, all of this is just like my opinion, man. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What do you think of this Deathcore Krieg box set? How much do you give it out of 10? Do you give it 2 thumbs up, 1 thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff? And do you think that this is GW starting to go in a better direction? They're starting to put more killer in their combat patrols and they're starting to smash it. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button and also subscribe to never miss an episode. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Redfield, 32, Jurgens, Miasma, Try Again, Bragg, RJ, Scorpion, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Nicholas Walsh, John Stubbs, Guardian, Varney, Sword, Fish Trombone, Picklock the Forged. Seriously guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.